What's the haps? I'm Meroka, and today I'm going to be taking a quick look at Punch Club by Lazy Bear Games. This is a boxing management sim which had a fairly interesting launch. They put it up on Twitch as a Twitch Plays Punch Club kind of thing, in the same style as like Twitch Plays Pokemon or what have you. And they refused to launch the game until Twitch beat it. Twitch actually beat it pretty quickly, so it is out now, and well, I'm going to go take a look at it. So let's hop into the options before we get into the game proper. We have resolution options available to us, full screen mode. Sound and music, not quite separate sliders, but they are at least on separate options, so that's not bad. It'd be nicer if they're on bars and you weren't just quite increments, but hey ho. And a retro effect, it is basically your old school scan lines kind of thing to make it look like you're playing it on the TV, back on the Mega Drive or what have you. It's pixel art. I know some people will roll their eyes at the thought of more pixel art games, but honestly, I do think this one's done pretty well. The art style's pretty good in this. There's pixel art, and then there's good pixel art. This is definitely on the good pixel art end of the spectrum. So let's head on in. Let's pick our character, our fighter, our champione. There's no customization to be found. This is just the dude that everybody gets to play. You get to pick the name, but that's about it. So it is a management sim. There are a great many numbers to tweak and balance and adjust and things. So we've got our core stats up top. You can see my health is currently about 90%. That will go down if you get into fights and whatnot. Food, you'll need to be well fed in order to be able to perform tasks. Your mood, well, if your mood drops, you won't train as effectively. You won't be able to gain stats as well. So helps to be happy. And energy, also another stat that you need to have some energy, or again you won't be able to do things. So food and energy, both things that you need. Both of those are just kind of consumed in doing most stuff, be it doing your job to earn money for your character, or training in the gym. And training in the gym allows you to increase your strength and your agility and your stamina, which both affect fights accordingly. So your strength is basically your damage, and if you hit harder, you consume more energy during a fight as well. Your stamina allows you to increase your energy regeneration during fights, so you'll be able to fight for longer if you've got better stamina, and also reduces the damage you take. And agility is, well, it's agility, it increases your accuracy and reduces the enemies essentially. Those are my talent points. We have access to a talent tree, which I'll show you. You've got some basic stuff at the start. Basic ones, learn your basic punches, kicks, blocks, dodges, whatever. And we get some more advanced stuff, and onwards. About halfway through the tree you get these ones which mean your stats won't drop. They're very nice to have, but at the same time they're kind of expensive because every talent you buy increases the cost of the next one. So currently I need 11 talent points. The next talent will cost me 12. If I buy that one, those will cost me 12 next time. So you kind of got to plan ahead. You've got to know what you're going to want. Further down the tree you get to these specializations, which allow you to become a specialized fighter. I'm currently slowly creeping my way towards Way of the Tiger. It's slow progress, but I want to get there, which is predominantly the agility-based build, which then brings you into these separate trees. We've got the Way of the Bear, Way of the Tiger, and Way of the Turtle, which gives you a lot more stuff available to you. There are some of these. I hadn't even spotted that, but yeah, there are later ones. Those will be quite nice to have, I would imagine, so that your agility won't drop below certain stats. But then allows you to comfortably just sort of sit at that stat and train on other things. It's always nice. Anyway, that's your talent tree. There's a lot of interesting stuff. There's all sorts of weird things. I mean, there's stuff that improves your training. There's stuff that if you go below 30% of your health, your agility increases. So some of these are moves, some of these are sort of passive perks. None of them are just stats. So it's a very interesting talent tree. It's not going to be your just stat upgrade talent tree. There's none of that going on. It's all it all changes things in interesting kind of ways, if it doesn't just outright give you extra abilities. Honestly, I haven't even gotten close to looking through this very thoroughly, because this is so far down the talent tree. I mean, this presumably must be, yeah, I think you have to play a fair way. For a reference, I've been playing this for about 3 hours at this point. I'm nearly at the end of the first part of the game, I would say. There is this story kind of tree which tells you it kind of gives you a bit of an overview. A lot of these are achievements or just notable things happening in stories, and yeah, you've got your main story which will progress as we work our way through all these kind of sections of the story, but you can see there's several different branching story arcs. Up top you've got the main fighting league, so we introduce Mick the trainer, which is a little bit rocky-ish. Yeah. You also, going down another path, you will meet Adrian, who's the love interest. That's also a little bit rocky. Yeah, there's references to a lot of stuff in here. So yeah, the core of it, the first thing you're introduced to, I suppose, is the main league. So you work your way up to the league, become the league champion. I would imagine if you become the league champion, you will be introduced to a bigger and harder league. But then you've also got the back alley. It's not the back alley fights, it's sort of abandoned warehouse fights. These are the illegal ultimate fights going on. There is kind of some street fighting stuff going in there as well, the kind of the back alley things. They are... I think there's somewhere in the tree. Oh yeah, we've got Tyler. Tyler organizes the street fights. Oh, that's a bit... I was going to call it Punch Club. It's not Punch Club. Punch Club's the name of this game. That would be Fight Club I'm thinking of. So yeah, there's a little bit of all sorts of stuff going on. And down here, they're crocodiles, but it's kind of got a bit of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles kind of thing going on. Strange. It's all over the place. It's a weird and eclectic and entertaining mix of all sorts of different narratives going on here. So that's cool. Let's actually do some stuff, shall we? Where am I at? I need some food and I need some energy before I can do much, particularly at this point in time. We've got leagues available, so Rookie League will be available in a couple days if I sign up now, or I can go do an ultimate fight tomorrow. In fact, I can do both if I want, but I would probably be useful for me to train up before either of those. So we've kind of got a time meter in this corner, so each of the days will sort of elapse as that meter fills up, and at the end of the day, every day, like clockwork, all of your stats will drop by a little bit. Obviously, there's the perks and things that stop that dropping, so if we've taken meat runner and do not fall down, those aren't going to drop below 4. Those meters could drop to the bottom, but they won't drop below 4. My strength will drop all the way back to level 1 if I let it. So some training required, but yeah, you need to stay training to stay in top shape, much like in real life, I suppose. If you don't train regularly, you will become weaker. It's either a constant battle of balancing all the things in the world going on. So we've got money. Money will buy you food. You earn money by going to your work. I'm not sure what I need to prioritize right now. I'm going to go to the grocery store, and then again you can take the bus, which will allow you, I think it's, if not instantaneous, near instantaneous travel for a small sum of money, or you can walk it, and you can see that elapses the time. So the time on the day meter has gone a little bit around. So the more stuff you can cram into one day, the more productive you'll be. If you're walking everywhere, obviously more days are going to elapse, and you're going to lose stats from spending half your days walking around. And I'll be honest, I have found myself doing that, and maybe why I'm not doing so well. I should probably take the bus more often. So Apu, the convenience store owner, which is also a familiar name, yeah, he sells food. We'll tell you on here if you have them. So if I buy some meat, there you go. I've got meat in the fridge at home. Go straight to the fridge. You can't eat the meat raw where you stand, you have to go home and cook it. So I suppose we should do that, because I'm looking a little tired. Worst case scenario, you can kind of run out of stats and things if you run out of food and money and everything, and you wind up in a place where you don't have the energy to do work, and you don't have the money to buy food to get the energy to do work. You can go and see Mick, and Mick's, as far as I can make out at this point in the game, he may have functionality later, but at this point, it seems that his only real purpose in this game is to provide you with food in case you find yourself in a bad situation. It's probably not ideal to get into that situation, because it's going to waste a lot of time and resources, but it does give you a meal for free, so there's that. So now we're too hungry to sleep. Our food meter went down, but our energy meter went up because we were rested. That will also increase your mood as well if you're sleeping, but I was already pretty happy. And it'll restore your health as well. Some good rest and recuperation. I can eat my meat. Moo indeed. That refills your health by a chunk. It refills food by a good chunk, and a teeny bit of happiness as well. We have a garage in which I can train. You can buy equipment to kit this out. You start out with a mat on which you can do a few push-ups, which it'll train all your stats fairly evenly, to be fair. You'll get a good spread of stats across all of them. It's probably not the best training for anything, but okay, now my strength's up to 4. And my agility's probably going to go up to 5 there. Yeah, that's good. That would be good if we're going to go do some ultimate fights, which I might do. I should probably do that. Well, I can sign up for that, but I'm more interested in the ultimate fight, I think. So what I should do is go hit the gym. Actually, well, I could hit the gym, but I won't be able to train for too long because I'm quite hungry, so actually probably most productive thing I can do right now is take a job. I've got a job at the work site here, or I can work at the cafe, which is a little closer, so I waste less time in doing that. This one doesn't pay as well as the work site, though, and working on the work site also trains your stats just a little bit. You get paid more money, and it trains you a little bit, but it obviously takes you a lot further, and I think it probably depletes your other stats a bit more as well. You're probably less happy working on the delivery site. So we shall deliver our pizza. The way that works is you click start, and the meter fills up. Your stats drain as long as the meter is filling up, and eventually that meter fills up and I get $30. And it starts again. So let that one roll just a little bit. Of course, the timer's always elapsing while it's going, and end of the day. So all my stats have depleted, so my strength has dropped back down to that, which is not great. We'll continue that job if it's in sort of the sense of doing a pizza delivery. This doesn't make a lot of sense, but yeah, I can just resume that delivery wherever, whenever. Okay, so that job's complete. Let's do that. So let's before our things deplete too far. Let's go. Let's take the bus to the convenience store because I want to get as much training in today as I possibly can. Ideally, if we're going to go do a fight, I want to get my stats right up nice and high. Right, so grab a couple meats. Do I want to grab another one? Maybe. No, I won't. 2 should probably suffice, I think. So I'll take the bus home. We're gonna eat the meat, I think. Eat that, nom. Get some rest. Get some energy. I don't want to waste too much of my day doing this, but unfortunately I think that's probably going to happen. I'm going to waste far more of the day than I should like. Yeah, that's plenty. You can't immediately cancel any activity. Every activity it kind of has to run for at least a few ticks before you can cancel it, so I think the stats will tick about 4 times before you can change to a new thing. We'll go to the gym. We shall, yep, pay to take the bus, just so I get as much training time in as possible. Go to the gym, $10 to go in. If you have your own equipment, obviously you can do that in your garage and it'll be way cheaper, but I don't have those facilities yet. It's pretty expensive to get your own gym set up, especially early on in the game. It might become easier later, but you know, at this stage it's still early days. So different machines will train you in different ways. So I've got the weights machine is going to train our strength naturally, as one might imagine. It's a fairly effective way to do that, so let's get that up to rank 4. Okay, happy with that. I could probably stand to get some more stamina. Treadmill's good for stamina, that's going to buff that up big time. So the green meter's going to go up. It's just a lot of maneuvering meters until you get meters to the right place and trying to balance your priorities. Obviously, as I say, there's social relationships in there. You've got to balance your relationship with your girlfriend-to-be, as it were. That's going to train my agility, see if I can get agility up to level 5 before the day's out. That would make me a happy person. I don't know if I'm going to manage it. I would like to. I want to be able to get to that ultimate fight in time. Okay, I think that's good. Bingo! There we go. 4, 5, 5. That's a good spread of stats, I think. Fight League. On any given day there's a fight, there'll be a little exclamation mark there to say, hey, there's something, so Ultimate Fight is obviously on today. They're all handled in different ways. The Rookie League it's a score-based thing. Each fight you win, you will gain points and you'll move up and down in the league. And if you lose fights, you'll lose points and go down. If you win fights, you'll gain points and go up. So I need to make my way to the top and beat Mr. Kakuze. I have no idea how we would say that. Either way, yeah, that guy. He's got quite a lot of points. He has quite a lot of points, which means I should be taking part in more fights in this league than I otherwise have been. So yeah, we've also got, if we leave that one, what we've got the Ultimate Fights. Ultimate Fights is done in a kind of you get points for winning a fight, which will fill up this bar. But if you lose fights, it doesn't seem like that goes down. But the penalty for that is you will sustain injuries. If you lose a fight in the Ultimate Fights, you'll end up with a debuff for a few days because you've gotten yourself injured fighting. Let's go do it. So, Meroka versus Jared. It's the actual fight. Takes a little while to get there. It's not all fighting, there's a lot of stuff in between the fights. So we have 3 skill slots available to us. Obviously, as we unlock talents, we'll unlock more of them. A lot of the enemies seem to have a lot more abilities than me early on, but hey-oh. I've got a few different punches available to me. We've got the basic punch, standard one. It tells you get a quick overview of what all the stats on it are and how it's calculated. So a basic punch is 1 plus 0.7 times my strength, so 0.7 times 4 is somewhere around 3, I would imagine. So 1 plus 3, I have a strength of 4. And the stamina cost at the bottom is the little lightning bolt with the red line, the red minus sign next to it. Tells me how much it's going to cost to throw a punch. So 0 plus 1 times my strength. The cost of a punch is literally just my strength value, which is 4. So fair enough. A high punch is more powerful. It's 2 plus 1.2 times my strength, giving me a cost of 7. So it's calculated slightly differently. I'm not sure how that one would work out. It feels like that at higher levels that would end up being more expensive energy-wise, but you do deal more damage. We've got 3 plus 0.9 times my strength, giving us 7. Equally, at the minute, it kind of works out as 4 damage for 4 energy, and 7 damage for 7 energy. I keep calling it energy when I mean stamina. So we've got some kicks. It's not really boxing. I guess it's just fighting. It really is just fighting, I suppose. There's kicking involved, which I'm pretty sure tends to be frowned upon in boxing. Even it's kind of all feels rocky, as it were, which makes me think, oh, it should be boxing, right? Well, no, it's got kicking involved as well. It's just generally fighting. I suppose the fights are close to a kind of organized fight club kind of thing, I suppose. So we've got kicks there. Similar, the high kick is probably better for me than the high punch because it's 7 damage for 6 stamina at present. Also calculated slightly differently based on different stats and things. I've got some defensive abilities. I can block for 2 stamina, which will reduce the amount of damage, or can dodge for 3 stamina, which will evade the entire damage entirely. There's a few buffs we should be able to get later on, but they'll come in the talent trees, and there's some... I guess that's also a kind of buff. There's kind of 2 up arrow icons, but it's an up arrow with a shield. I don't know, defensive buff, I suppose? It's not well illustrated as to what that is. What this is skip attacks, because if you don't manage your energy, I suppose it is energy, not stamina, there you go. If you don't manage your energy well within a fight, you'll get knocked down easily. If that bar hits 0 and the enemy hits you, you'll get knocked on your ass, and you don't want that. So having access to skip attacks, which you have to buy through the talent tree as well, you can skip an attack and regenerate some energy, which is nice to be able to carry on. Otherwise, you'll just end up getting burned out in a fight. So I have full energy, so I don't need that. We've got different phases of the fight, so you can change with the loadouts in each one. So we're going to go with the high kick and a backhand high punch, which is 11 damage for 8 stamina, which is nice. So I've got my high kick and that. They've got 2 attacks, and I've got dodge in there. So it's going to be a fairly aggressive strategy off the bat. The enemy will switch theirs up as well, so we can kind of see what they've got and try to react to them. I mean, statistically, I'm better than this guy. I should win this fight, I hope, but I think I already fought this guy once before and still lost, so I don't know. He's got a karate kick. Ooh, 5 damage for 2 energy is pretty efficient. Karate kick high, 7 damage for 3. Dang, this guy's got some efficient stuff. Low kick is a debilitating strike, which is one you can take fairly early on, but I didn't actually, because I wanted other things on other paths on the tree, which will reduce stamina and agility, which is not going to be nice really, but there you go. And Rain of Strikes. If active, your opponent's blocking is less effective. Ouch, good job. And since I know he's now actually going to be actively, well, countering my blocking, I know it's therefore more beneficial to put dodge in there than block. If I had block in there, he's got that. That's going to counter it really. And Wind Flow Dodge consumes less energy, but is very agility dependent. Okay, which is, I'm not sure what that is. It's like I said, it is just a dodge, isn't it? It's just a cheap dodge. Fair enough. Okay, I could use one of those. And he has perks available, which makes his chance to dodge higher and more agility dependent. Which is, yeah, he does have fairly high agility. I'm a very agility strong fighter here. So am I, but I also have more stamina. So we shall see how this goes. Fights are all automated. There's no input here. You just kind of have to watch them. So I'm clobbering this guy. But my stamina is relatively lower than his. The round timer is going to tick by. When that circle fills up at the top, that's when we get to change our abilities. So I'm going to get burned out before the end of this first round, potentially. I could get knocked down from having no stamina. I would like that to not happen. Yeah. I'm going to remove the kick. I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to keep the dodge in there, because I want some evasion. and I need the stamina regen quite badly, otherwise I'm just going to end up on my ass all fight. And the more times you get knocked down, the more damage you take each time. If you get knocked down repeatedly throughout a fight, you'll start out taking a bit of damage for getting knocked down, but if you get knocked down 3, 4, 5 times, it's really going to hurt every time. You're going to start taking like 20 damage. There you go, you just saw me get knocked down because my stamina was 0. You get back up again, you get a bit of stamina back, but if he does that again repeatedly, I'm going to suffer for it. So we got some stats at the end. We get to see our health and energy over time, over the course of the fight, and the stats and skills and how frequently they were used, which is an interesting bit of information. It's not something I've ever really stopped and studied and gone, ooh, this is useful and important to me. I don't know. Imagine, though, were you so inclined, you could probably get some useful information out of that. Our rewards for the fight were 70 happiness, which is fighting makes us happy, basically. It's one of the best ways to improve our mood in this, is to get in a fight. That's what this guy lives for. $40 for winning the fight. These illegal underground fighting circuits, they pay well, or reasonably well anyway, compared to other fights. So we get $40 out of the bargain for winning that fight. Get 15 more points on the league, 2 talent points, bringing us up to a total of 9. I should have liked more than that, really, but hey-ho. And we lose a little bit of health. We just got in a fight. Of course we lost a bit of health, so there you go. That is a fight. Ooh, there is a flower there. That's the thing I'm looking to collect, so that is part of the romance subplot. There's so much in this game going on that you kind of... There's a lot of balancing all sorts of things. So that's... I need 11 for that, nowhere near enough just yet. You can, if we go to the city map, I could go to the gym actually. Let's take the bus. I can train with the hand pads, so that costs a little bit of money to do that, but it's a good way to get talent points without, you know, risking getting your ass kicked in the fight, to be honest. It's... Every time I've done this, it's been 2 talent points. I don't know if that's, like, diminishing returns or anything, but, yeah. Let's see, what do I want? I don't know if it's diminishing returns or not, but so far it seems to be a good way just to get 2 talent points. And since I need 2 talent points to unlock something, that's all I want. So yeah, you just get 1 round. The enemy's not going to hit you back. It's just hand pads training. So you get to unload a load of abilities on him. And once the round's over, ta-da! You win. Here, have talent points. There you go. 5 happiness for doing a bit of training, and 2 points, which allows us to spend something in the skill tree. What are we looking at now? We are looking at... I think, well, since I'm working my way towards Way of the Tiger, I think we need Rice Eater, who says he's used chopsticks, you gain 15% more agility from training. Ding, there we go. So now whenever I train any agility, it's going to be more effective. I need 12 more points and I will unlock the Way of the Tiger branch, which I'm quite looking forward to. So it's all in all, it's fairly slow progress, I do feel. There's a lot of things going on to keep you invested in, but balancing everything is really, really difficult, and indeed trying to keep your stats up as well, because everything's going to include fights. If you go to the bar, yeah, let's grab the bus, go to the bar. Well, there's Tyler having the backstreet fights. Actually, probably... Since I'm on good stats for today, actually it might be worth having another fight there. Probably a pretty good idea. The warehouse is where the illegal fights are. We've got a sporting goods store, which is going to allow us to buy things to upgrade our garage. What else? What have I not shown you? There's Roy's house, who's a guy you become friends with early on. You can just hang out with him, you can just chill. He's got a barbecue and a few beers in his garden, and you can just chill there as long as you want. That will very, very slowly increase your food meter, very slowly increase your energy meter, and quite quickly inflates your mood meter, which is a good way. Because if your mood drops, obviously you're going to have a hard time keeping your stats up because you're going to be training less effectively, so most of it's just, again, it's all number management. That's like, all in all, this is absolutely not going to appeal to a lot of people, I think, because it can be very dry with all the numbers at times, and it's slow progress. I'm finding myself frustrated with it. I mean, 3 hours in, I feel like I should have done more, and I just haven't, all things considered. What do I want on this? I don't want my kick. I keep the backhand high punch. Yeah, keep the kick. And dodge. There we go. Fight. Yeah, as I say, there's a lot of slow progress. If you've got the patience for it, you might get something out of it. I think there's enough activities going on. There's plenty to keep you engaged, but I'm just finding myself frustrated that it's just like I can't I can't make more progress than I am doing in any one given field. So, my stamina's good. Same again, I think. These street fights are only short ones. They're only 4 rounds. Different ones play out differently. Stuff like you can be mugged in the streets. If you're walking around with a lot of money, you can get into an impromptu fight because muggers were like, hey, that guy's got... I think this current build of the game is $100, but I know they're looking at patching that to change it to $150. If you're walking around with over the preset limit, you're at risk of being mugged in the street. We're going to remove the kick, and we're going to put the stamina regen in. And yeah, you can lose a lot of money that way, but those fights play out entirely differently because there's 99 rounds. You essentially have to resolve that fight. These ones can quite often be concluded by who's got the less health at the end of it. After 4 rounds, it's entirely possible for neither fighter to have won. So 4 rounds, you know, at the end it'll be like, okay, you've got more health than the enemy, therefore you win. So it'll play out kind of differently. So there's not much to be gained from that other than I got some talent points out of it, actually. That's not a bad way to get some talent points there. And there is, of course, not the skill tree. I keep clicking on the wrong one. I want my story tree. There is something for winning 5 points, which I guess will progress that bit of things. So, yeah, I need to do those. I need to collect that flower. I see there's a flower there. I hadn't actually seen when the bin was a thing. I don't know what's in the bin. Do we get to scavenge in the bins? Looks like it's a burger. I'll take it just in case. Really? Nothing here. Okay, so I guess you can go diving in the bins for things as well. I didn't know you could do that. There's so many things that are just like hidden away in the game like that. Just keep finding odd things. It's an interesting concept, but as I say, I'm not sure if I entirely want to play much more of it. Again, just because of the slow progression. That's mainly what's driving me away here. And I think that's probably going to be the case for a lot of people. A lot of people are going to be like, this is just frustratingly slow progress. There's this eternal battle to improve your stats. And then they're depleting at the end of each day. And if you take a day out to go do some work to earn some money, your stats go down again, and then you've got to spend a day at the gym to get them back up. And then you might be good for a fight. And then you spent a few days eating food and things, so now you need to go get some more money to do that, so you're spending more time not training and your stats go down. And there's the very, very slow increase, but it is slow. It's kind of almost painfully slow. It really is. I mean, as I say, as a concept, it's interesting. Thematically, I've not seen anything like this. The Rocky meets Fight Club kind of thing. It's pretty cool. Visually, as I say, as far as pixel art goes, I'm quite digging it. It's a good pixel art style. The music is... you do get a lot of the same music looping, and that can probably get a bit samey. I do like the soundtrack, but I might like a bit more. The title music's fantastic, but you don't hear that for very long because you're only on the title screen. So, yeah, maybe a bit more variety in music in different places. You just kind of got this generic sort of... almost feels kind of Rocky-inspired, training montage kind of thing. Going to be the champion kind of music playing in the background. And there's just a lot of that. You're going to hear it a lot. So that's... and I think I've shown you most of the things here. This is Punch Club. It's a very novel concept. It's definitely not necessarily going to have a broad appeal, but I think there are people out there this will appeal to. I am very much imagine you should be able to figure it out by looking at this whether you are one of those people or not. This is currently available on Steam, as I say, launched on 8th of January, available for Windows, Mac and Linux. Launch price £6.99, your regional equivalent, and for a little bit extra you can also get the soundtrack and an art book as well. If you wish to support the developers and get a little bit of extra stuff. So there you go. That is Punch Club. I think we're done here. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Meroka. See you next time.